So if you want to figure out, say like the commission or the profit and loss for a project, what you're going to do is you're going to take the project, if it's on say like the Softscape sheet or the Hardscape sheet, and then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to copy and paste the important information from that project over onto the P&L that it goes with, whether that's say like the landscape P&L or a concrete P&L or that sort of thing. So what you'll do is just for example's sake, you're going to go down here, you're going to copy and paste that in. For coloring, it gets color coded based off of how the job did. So for light gray or light green, for example, that would be a job that's over a 50% profit. Yellow is below 50% gross profit. If you see a red, that's a job that lost money. So that would be negative profit percentage there. So green if it's over 50%, yellow if it's below 50%, red if it lost money or that sort of thing. So this particular job here, the job cost was $25,000. We need to make sure that the columns line up. So this is going to actually need to get moved over to the total line here. If you scroll up to the top of the spreadsheet, you will see the date, the address, the client's name, notes about the project that Andrew puts in, the job cost, and the expenses, the profit percent, and the profit that the job made without overhead, and then just yes or no if it was on time and on budget, and who worked on it. So on this project here that we just copied and pasted over from the Softscape spreadsheet, one thing you're going to want to do when you're figuring out the profit on a job is to make sure that multiple crews did not work on it, or if they did, say if the concrete crew was out there and the landscape crew was also out there, because then what you're going to need to do on the P&L sheet is you're going to need to break this total down into say kind of like two separate jobs. So if there was say $10,000 of concrete work, this would get changed to $15,998 on the landscape P&L if, say, there was $15,988 of landscape work and $10,000 of concrete. But on this particular job, it was all landscape, so you don't need to divide the cost and the job cost out. You don't need to break it down and separate it between the two different P&L sheets. It can all just stay on the landscape P&L sheet, being that all the work was performed by the landscape crew, and so all the profit would be landscape applicable. So then what you're going to do is you're going to go over onto Jobber. You're going to search for Rebecca Hughes. You're going to click on her job, and then it will pull the job up, and you're going to go down into the expense section, which you see here. So on this one, I've already entered the expenses in, as have the guys that were getting materials. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look through and you're going to want to look at what the job consisted of under the line items section, the work that we were doing out there. And you're going to want to make sure that the material expenses match up with the work that was done. Say if they were doing, a paver patio or block retaining wall, there should be block materials in here or that sort of a thing. As for the labor that the guys enter in, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that the team members that were working on the job, that they have all of their hours entered in as expenses and that we're not missing any labor or materials. And so you're going to reference the calendar to see what days the guys were out there and who was there. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go through, look at the dates, and look at the hours that they entered, make sure that everything seems accurate, make sure that no team members' hours are missing. Say if on the calendar it shows that they were there on a certain date and you don't have hours for them in Jobber, then you're going to need to reach out, get their hours, get them uploaded. Typically what they'll do is they'll leave the hours blank. So normally there won't be a dollar amount in here. This would just say 0. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to look up what the person gets per hour. In this case for Rob, if he's getting say $25 an hour, you're going to take 25 times 6. That would give you $150. But then what you're going to need to do, so I'll do it on the calculator here just to give an example. Rob had 6 hours multiplied by $25 an hour. That gives you $150. You're going to need to multiply that by 1.5 for the labor. This covers our unemployment cost, employer taxes, different things like that. So Rob's total cost to us is $225, not $150, because we multiplied 150 by 1.5. So again, we took the 6 hours that Rob worked, multiplied it by his hourly rate of $25 an hour, and then multiplied that by 1.5, which gives us $225 for Rob's hourly rate. Then what you're going to do is, after all the expenses look accurate, after everything is in, you're going to go down and you're going to look at the total expenses on the bottom. You're going to take this number and you're going to go back to the P&L, the profit and loss sheet, and you're going to put that in under the expense section. So when you're looking at the profit and loss, this is the total job cost. And then this category here, if you look, this says expenses. So labor, materials, that sort of a thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to go down to where we were just at here. You're going to take that total of the expenses from Jobber, $8,584.27, and you're going to put that into that spreadsheet. $8,000, it was $584.27. So the total job costs of labor and materials. Then what you're going to do is you're going to subtract this number from the job total. And that will give you the profit before overhead, which again is this category here on the spreadsheet. So if we take 25,998 minus 8,584.27, that gives you $17,413.73 of profit before overhead. To get our percentage or our margin, we're going to take this number here that we just came up with, and we're going to divide it by the job total. So 17,413.73 divided by $25,998 gives you 66.98. I'll do that on the calculator here on the computer to show you as well. So if you were to take 17,413.73, divide it by 25,998, gives you a margin of 0.6698. We're going to round that up to 0.67. 0.67 is also equal to 67%. So that's how we get the percentage there. Again, since it's over a 50% margin, we put yes in that it's over a 50% margin. Who worked on the job? This one was Donald's job. And then we are going to highlight this in kind of this lighter green since it's over the 50% margin. Again, if it was under that, we would do kind of lighter yellow, or if the job lost money, we would do the light red color and change this to no if it was not over a 50% margin. Then, since this is a job that Donald sold, what we're going to do is we're going to copy and paste this over onto Donald's commission spreadsheet. So you're going to copy this here, copy and paste, go to the commission spreadsheet, copy and paste this on here. I do already have it on here right above, so we're just kind of using this as an example today. You can delete this out here. Again, we're going to keep it this lighter green in color since it is over the 50% margin and the job is profitable. On this job, he's getting an 8% commission. So you're going to put 8% in here in the commission box for the percentage. If you look at the top here, we've got the commission dollar amount, job profit, job margin, expenses, cost, the job, client address, date, client name is here. So it's set up the same as all of our other spreadsheets so that you're able to copy and paste the information right in. So if you take 8%, which would be 0.08 is equal to 8%, and you're going to multiply that by the profit before overhead. So we're going to multiply that by 17413.73. and that gives us a profit, or sorry, that gives us a commission for him of 139.3.10, and that's how we're going to figure that out. And then once you get that commission, let myself, Josh know, and Amy as well, as we handle the commission payouts. For any jobs on either the P&L or on the commission sheet that are over a 50% margin, let myself know as well so that I can review to make sure we're not missing any expenses or anything like that. And just so that we got everything squared away and make sure it looks accurate.